Chosen one, why are you here? Right now, at this exact second. Do you think it's an accident that your thumb stopped scrolling? That your eyes locked onto these words? That something deeper than coincidence pulled you into this moment? What if I told you that the very day you've been sleepwalking through this ordinary Saturday is actually the most dangerous, most sacred, most loaded 24 hours in the entire timeline of your destiny? Chosen one, listen to me. The big Saturday has arrived, and heaven is holding its breath. You know what Saturday is, don't you? It's the forgotten day, the day nobody preaches about. It's the silent space between the agony of Friday, when everything you believed died on a cross, and the explosion of Sunday, when the stone rolled away and death lost its grip forever. But Saturday is the waiting room of miracles, and you've been living in one. You've been trapped in the in-between. You survived the crucifixion of your dreams. You buried your hope 6 feet deep. You've spent so many Fridays weeping, wondering if God forgot your name, your address, your pain. But this Saturday, this one, everything changes. Because God doesn't waste the in-between. He uses it. He transforms it. While the world sees silence, heaven sees preparation. While you see delay, the Father sees divine timing. Right now, in the invisible realm, angels are moving, chains are breaking. Doors you thought were welded shut, they're creaking open. That miracle you stopped praying for because you got tired of hoping. It's been in the ground this whole time, germinating, waiting for this Saturday to break through the soil. If something in your spirit just stirred, if you felt a shiver down your spine, a catch in your chest, type 777 inches the comments right now. Let heaven see who's still listening. Let the algorithm know this one's awake. And listen before we go any further. I want to say something from my heart. Thank you to every single one of you who has supported this message through Super Thanks. Your generosity means more than you know. You're not just giving, you're helping spread light to others who feel alone in their calling. Whether you sow a seed today or not, I'm deeply grateful for your presence here. Your support, your time, your attention, it all matters. And if this message resonates with your soul, go ahead. Now pay close attention to what I'm about to reveal. Because the miracle God is releasing this Saturday isn't small, it isn't safe, and it won't wait for you to feel ready. It's already in motion. The question is, are you? How many years have you carried that prayer in your chest? How many nights have you whispered the same request into the dark, wondering if anyone's even listening anymore? How long have you been waiting for God to show up, really show up, not with another sermon, not with another verse you've already memorized, but with the actual, tangible, undeniable miracle He promised you decades ago? You've lived long enough to know what disappointment tastes like. You've buried people you loved. You've watched doors slam shut that you thought God Himself had opened. You've prayed until your knees ached and your voice went hoarse, and still silence. Just silence. And somewhere along the way, you started wondering, did I mishear Him? Did I do something wrong? Did God forget my name? Let me tell you something that's going to shake you awake right now. That silence, that agonizing, suffocating, soul-crushing silence you've been living in, it wasn't abandonment, it was preparation. God wasn't ignoring you. He was building something underground, something so massive, so intricate, so perfectly timed that if He'd given it to you any earlier, you wouldn't have had the roots to hold it. Think about a tree. You don't see the root system, do you? You just see the trunk, the branches, maybe some leaves. But beneath the surface, in the dark, in the dirt, in the hidden places where no one's watching, that's where the real work happens. That's where the tree drinks. That's where it anchors. That's where it survives the storm. You've been in the dirt, chosen one, and you thought you were buried, but God was planting you. The Bible says it clearly in Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. Not your time, not when it's convenient, Not when you're ready. His time. Divine time. Kingdom time. And here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Every delay in your life has been a divine setup. Every closed door was God protecting you from something that would have destroyed you. Every unanswered prayer was heaven saying, "Not yet, because what I have for you is bigger than what you're asking for." You think you've been waiting on God? No, beloved. God's been waiting on you. Waiting for you to mature. Waiting for you to let go of the counterfeit. Waiting for you to stop begging for crumbs when He's preparing a banquet. This is the big Saturday. This is the in-between. This is the holy pause between what died and what's about to rise. You know what happened on the original Saturday, the Saturday after Jesus was crucified? The disciples hid. They wept. They thought it was over. They thought the mission had failed. They thought the miracle worker was gone for good. But while they were mourning, God was working. While they were doubting, heaven was moving. While the stone sealed the tomb, the greatest comeback in human history was being engineered in the invisible realm. Saturday wasn't the end. It was the setup. And the same thing is happening in your life right now. You've been living in a Saturday, a long, painful, confusing Saturday where nothing made sense and everything felt stuck. You've watched other people get their breakthroughs while you stayed in the waiting room. You've seen younger folks get promoted while you got passed over. You've felt forgotten, overlooked, invisible. But let me prophesy something over you right now. God wasn't punishing you. He was positioning you. He wasn't delaying you. He was developing you. He wasn't withholding from you. He was protecting you from a counterfeit that would have killed your destiny. The big Saturday isn't empty space. It's heaven's construction zone. It's the divine workshop where miracles are assembled, where breakthrough is manufactured, where your next chapter is being written in the handwriting of God Himself. Right now, right this second, angels are moving on your behalf. Doors you thought were welded shut are starting to creak open. Connections you thought were dead are being resurrected. Finances you thought were gone are being rerouted back to you. Health you thought was lost is being restored in your body. But here's the key. You have to recognize the season. You have to discern the shift. You have to stop living like it's still Friday when Saturday has already begun. Joseph spent 13 years in a pit and a prison before he stood in a palace. Moses spent 40 years in a desert before he split a sea. Abraham waited 25 years for the son God promised him. And Jesus spent 3 days in a tomb before he walked out, wearing resurrection like a robe. Your Saturday is almost over, chosen one. Your silence is about to shatter. Your midnight is about to break into morning. And when this miracle lands, and it will land, you're going to look back at every tear, every setback, every closed door, and you're going to say, God, you knew exactly what you were doing. You were never late. You were right on time. If you feel that if something just shifted in your spirit, if you sense this silence is about to break, whisper it in the comments right now. I'm still here. Because the miracle that's coming for you, it's been hunting you down for years, and it's about to find you. But before it does, you need to understand something critical, something that will determine whether you're ready to receive it or whether you'll let it slip right through your fingers like so many before you have. You want to know the truth about why you're still here? Not the Sunday school answer, not the greeting card version, the real reason. Every single unanswered prayer you whispered into the darkness, every one of them was a blueprint rolled up in heaven's archive. Every tear that fell on your pillow at 3 a.m. when no one was watching, that wasn't waste, that was ink. And God was still writing. Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will crack open everything you thought you knew about your life. You've been living through what feels like an endless Friday, the doctor's appointments that multiply, the children who moved away and forgot to call, the mirror that shows you a body you barely recognize anymore, the friends who've passed on, one by one, until the phone stops ringing, the savings account that's shrinking faster than you can control, the nights when you lie awake wondering if anyone would even notice if you weren't here tomorrow. You've asked God 1,000 times, "Why am I still here? What's left for me to do?" And heaven's been silent. That's silence. That's not abandonment. That's preparation. You see, the world has a retirement plan for you. Sit down, slow down, fade out, become invisible. Let the younger generation take over while you watch from the sidelines, waiting for the end. But God has a relaunch plan, and it doesn't care about your age. It doesn't care about your bank account. It doesn't care what your body feels like when you wake up in the morning. Open your Bible to Exodus 7-7. Moses was 80 years old when he stood before Pharaoh. 80. The world said retire. God said, "Boat, you're just getting started." Everything Moses had lived through, the palace, the desert, the burning bush, the waiting, all of it was preparation for the moment when he would split the Red Sea and lead an entire nation to freedom. Flip to Genesis 21. Sarah was 90 years old when she held Isaac in her arms. 90. She laughed when God promised her a son because it seemed ridiculous, impossible, too late. But God doesn't operate on your timeline. He operates on his. And when that baby cried for the first time, every year of waiting, every month of doubt, every moment of humiliation suddenly made sense. Now look at Luke 2:36-38. Anna was 84 years old, widowed for decades, spending her days in the temple praying, fasting, waiting. Everyone else walked past the baby Jesus without a second glance. But Anna, she recognized the Messiah. She saw what an entire generation missed because she'd been prepared in the waiting room of her own Saturday. Do you see the pattern? God doesn't call you when you're shiny and new. He calls you when you're seasoned, battle-tested, refined by fire. When you've got scars that tell stories and wisdom that can't be Googled. The world sees your age and says limitation. God sees your age and says authority. The world sees your health struggles and says weakness. God sees your health struggles and says, "I'm about to show my strength through your fragility." The world sees your loneliness and says, "Forgotten." God sees your loneliness and says, "I've been removing distractions so you can hear me clearly." Right now, right this second, something is shifting in the invisible realm. The big Saturday isn't just a day on the calendar, it's a divine intersection. It's the moment when everything you've carried, everything you've survived, everything you've endured, suddenly clicks into place. You thought your season was over. You thought you'd missed your chance. You thought God was done with you. But heaven just circled today's date, the big Saturday, as your relaunch. Not a retirement party, a relaunch. That thing you used to dream about. That calling you buried because you thought you were too old, too tired, too late. It's not dead. It's been in the ground germinating. And this Saturday, this one right here, is when it breaks through the soil. That relationship you thought was beyond repair. God's been working on it in the silence. That financial breakthrough you stopped believing for. It's been held in escrow, waiting for divine timing. That healing you prayed for until your voice went hoarse. Heaven's been preparing your miracle while you've been surviving your Friday. But here's what you need to understand. This relaunch requires something from you. It requires you to stop agreeing with the world's assessment of your life. It requires you to stop letting your age define your assignment. It requires you to stop whispering it's too late when God is shouting it's precisely on time. Moses didn't feel ready at 80. Sarah didn't feel capable at 90. Anna didn't feel significant at 84. But they showed up anyway. And their Saturday became history's Sunday. So let me ask you something, and I want you to answer out loud, even if you're alone in your room right now. Do you believe God still has a plan for your life? Do you believe this Saturday is different? Do you believe your miracle is already in motion? If you do, if something deep in your spirit is rising up right now, I want you to comment, "I receive my relaunch." Not because it's magic words, but because you're signing heaven's contract. You're declaring that you refuse to retire from your destiny. You're announcing that this Saturday, the big Saturday, is when everything shifts. Type it now. I receive my relaunch. Because what I'm about to show you next will prove that this isn't just inspiration, it's activation. Chosen one. Do you know what time it is right now in the throne room of heaven? 7 o'clock. Not 7 o'clock on your watch. Not 7 o'clock in New York or California or anywhere on this spinning planet. 7 o'clock in the eternal realm where time doesn't tick, it erupts. Where moments don't pass, they collide with destiny. And at 7 o'clock in heaven, the silence expires. The waiting ends. The miracle moves. Listen to me carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will shake the doubt right out of your bones. The miracle you've been praying for, crying for, begging God to release, it isn't coming. It's not scheduled for tomorrow or next week or when you finally feel worthy enough to receive it. It's already in motion. Right now, as you hear these words, the answer to your Saturday prayer is walking toward you. It's not floating in some distant spiritual cloud. It's not waiting for you to get your life together. It's moving through the invisible corridors of divine timing, cutting through every obstacle, every delay, every demonic roadblock that tried to keep it from reaching you. In Ecclesiastes 3:1, Solomon wrote, "To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven." The Greeks had two words for time, chronos and kairos. Chronos is the time on your clock. Kairos is God's appointed hour. And beloved, this is your kairos moment. This big Saturday isn't just another day you'll forget by Tuesday. This is the hinge moment, the turning point, the divine interruption that splits your life into before and after. Can you feel it? That shift in the atmosphere around you, that unexplainable weight lifting off your chest, that sudden hope you're almost afraid to name because you've been disappointed before. That's not your imagination. That's heaven adjusting your reality. God is recalibrating the frequency of your life right now, tuning you into the channel where miracles broadcast 24/7. The same God who held the sun still for Joshua, who parted the Red Sea for Moses, who raised Lazarus after 4 days in the tomb, that God is working on your Saturday. And here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Saturday miracles are the most powerful kind because they happen in the silence, in the waiting, in that agonizing space where faith has no proof but refuses to die. You see, Friday was the crucifixion. Friday was when Jesus hung between heaven and earth, when the sky went black, when even God turned his face away. Friday was brutal. Friday was the worst day in human history. But Saturday? Saturday was when Jesus descended into hell itself and took back the keys of death. Saturday was when the miracle was being assembled in the unseen realm. Saturday was when demons realized they'd made a catastrophic mistake. And Sunday? Sunday was just the unveiling of what Saturday had already accomplished. Right now, you're in your Saturday. The work is already done. The miracle is already built. You just can't see it yet, but you're about to. It's in the phone call you're going to receive. It's in the letter that's already been mailed to your address. It's in the conversation that will happen this week that will change the entire trajectory of your future. It's in the door that's about to open, the one you stopped knocking on because your knuckles were bloody and your hope was gone. It's in the healing that's moving through your body right now, cell by cell, bone by bone. It's in the breakthrough that's dismantling the generational curse that's haunted your family for decades. It's in the provision that's being released from unexpected sources, money you didn't ask for, favor you didn't earn, grace you don't deserve. In John 11, when Lazarus died, Jesus waited. He deliberately stayed away for 4 days, long enough for the body to decay, long enough for hope to rot, long enough for everyone to give up. And then he showed up and said 5 words that detonated the graveyard. Lazarus, come forth. And death had no choice but to obey. Beloved, God is speaking those same words over your dead dream right now, over your dead marriage, over your dead finances, over your dead health, over every dead thing the enemy buried and celebrated. Come forth. And just like Lazarus walked out of that tomb still wrapped in grave clothes, You're about to walk out of your Saturday, still carrying evidence of where you've been, but alive, breathing, restored, resurrected. This big Saturday will not end the way it began. The same power that raised Christ from the dead on Sunday morning is already raising something inside you before sunrise. So I'm asking you right now, not tomorrow, not when you feel like it right now. Do you believe it? Because here's the truth that will either ignite your faith or expose your unbelief. Your miracle doesn't need your permission. It needs your declaration. Say it out loud, wherever you are. My Saturday miracle is in motion. Say it until your doubt hears it. Say it until hell trembles. Say it until heaven responds. Because when you declare it, you align yourself with what God is already doing. And that alignment, that's when impossibilities start bowing at your feet. You've been waiting for the miracle to arrive. You've been scanning the horizon, checking your bank account, watching your phone, pacing at the door. You've been looking for proof that God heard you, some sign, some shift, some supernatural breakthrough that changes everything overnight. But what if I told you the miracle already happened? What if the real miracle isn't what shows up in your hands, but what awakens in your heart? See, this is what they don't teach you in Sunday school. This is what gets lost in the fog of feel-good sermons and Instagram theology. The miracle of the Big Saturday isn't just about circumstances flipping. It's about you flipping. It's not about what heaven drops into your lap. It's about what heaven resurrects inside your soul. Let me take you somewhere deep. Somewhere most preachers won't go because it's too raw, too real, too uncomfortable. You know what died on that Friday? It wasn't just Jesus on that cross. It was you. Your confidence died. Your hope died. Your belief that you were chosen, that you mattered, that your life had meaning, it died. You've been walking around like a ghost in your own story, going through the motions, faking the smile, pretending you're fine when inside you've been screaming, God, where are you? Did you forget me? Did I do something wrong? Am I being punished? That's the crucifixion nobody talks about. The death of your identity, the burial of who you thought you were. And Saturday is where you've been living. In the tomb, in the silence, in the suffocating darkness between who you used to be and who you're becoming. It's the place where doubt whispers, maybe it's over. Maybe this is all there is. But chosen one, hear me clearly, silence is not death, delay is not denial, the tomb is not your final address. Because just like that stone-cold body wrapped in linen in a borrowed grave 2,000 years ago, something is stirring, something is shifting. In the invisible, in the unseen, in the realm where miracles are manufactured, you are being resurrected. Not your circumstances, you. The part of you that hid in shadows because the world told you to shrink, it's breathing again. The part that stopped dreaming because disappointment crushed it too many times, it's waking up. The part that gave up, that surrendered, that said, I'm done trying, it's rising. Listen to what Paul said in 2 Corinthians 5:17. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come, not will come. Not might come someday, if you're lucky, has come, present tense, right now, this Saturday. Heaven doesn't just fix your problems, heaven resurrects your purpose. God doesn't just rearrange your life, He rewrites your identity. You think you've been waiting for a financial breakthrough. You've been waiting for something bigger. You think you've been praying for a relationship to be restored. You've been praying for something deeper. What you've actually been crying out for, whether you knew it or not, is to feel like yourself again. To remember who you were before the pain rewrote your story. To believe again that you're not a mistake, not forgotten, not abandoned. And that's exactly what this Big Saturday delivers. You are the proof that silence is not death. You are the living, breathing evidence that delay is divine design. You survived every Friday that tried to destroy you. You endured every loss, every betrayal, every disappointment that whispered, you're done, but you're still here. Still reading these words, still listening, still believing, even if it's just a flicker, a faint pulse of hope you can barely feel. That flicker, that's the Holy Spirit fanning the flame. That pulse, that's resurrection power coursing through your veins. The real miracle isn't what God changes around you, it's what God changes in you. It's the moment you stop seeing yourself through the eyes of your past and start seeing yourself through the eyes of heaven. It's when you realize you're not the victim of your story, you're the testimony. You're not the problem, you're the proof. Proof that God keeps his promises. Proof that the in-between isn't empty, it's pregnant with purpose. Proof that Saturday isn't a pause, it's the holy push before your destiny is born. Romans 8:11 says, "If the spirit of him who raised Jesus from the dead dwells in you, he who raised Christ Jesus from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies through his Spirit who dwells in you." The same power that rolled away the stone lives inside you, right now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. So let me ask you something, and I need you to answer honestly, not to me, but to yourself, to God, to the version of you that's been buried too long. Who are you becoming in this Saturday silence? Because this isn't the end of your story. This is the labor before the birth. This is the tension before the breakthrough. This is the midnight before the dawn explodes. If your heart knows this is true, if something deep in your spirit just clicked, just exhaled, just said yes, type "born again" into purpose in the comments. Let this section become a chorus. Let heaven hear the sound of identity rising from the grave. But now, we need to talk about what happens next. Because resurrection doesn't just wake you up, it sends you out. Now we arrive at the moment where everything shifts from the invisible to the undeniable. Because here's what most believers don't understand about Saturday miracles. They don't just happen to you, they happen through you. They don't just change your circumstances, they change your assignment. And when God moves on a big Saturday, he doesn't whisper. He announces. Let me tell you something that's going to rearrange everything you thought you knew about divine timing. This Saturday carries your name, not your neighbor's name, not the person sitting in the front pew who looks more spiritual than you. Your name. The one heaven has been whispering in the war room for months while you thought you were forgotten. Right now, and I mean right this second, there is a phone call being dialed. There is an opportunity being wrapped. There is a healing being dispatched from the throne room with your exact address on it. There is a reconciliation that's already in motion, and the person who hurt you, their heart is softening even as I speak these words. You want proof? Look at Acts 12. Peter's in prison, chained between two soldiers. The church is praying, but honestly, they're praying without expectation. They're going through the motions. And then at midnight, in the darkest hour, an angel walks through a locked door, and the chains fall off by themselves. The guards didn't unlock them. Peter didn't pick them. The chains just fell. That's a Saturday miracle. And here's what shakes me to my core every time I read that passage. When Peter showed up at the prayer meeting, they didn't believe it was him. They thought it was his ghost. They were praying for a miracle they didn't actually believe would happen. But God didn't need their belief to deliver Peter. He just needed their obedience to pray. So let me ask you something, and I want you to answer this honestly in your spirit. What chains are you wearing right now that you've gotten so used to, you've stopped praying for them to fall off? What prison cell have you accepted as your permanent address? This Saturday carries your name, and it's not asking your permission. It's not waiting for you to feel worthy. It's not checking your credit score or your church attendance record. It's already in transit. You see, the enemy wants you to think you're waiting for a miracle. But that's the lie that keeps you passive, keeps you stuck, keeps you sitting on the sidelines of your own destiny. The truth that's going to shatter every limitation you've been living under is this. You're not chasing miracles anymore. You're carrying one. Read that again. Let it sink into the deep places. You are not the beggar at the gate. You are the gate. You're not the sick woman reaching for the hem. You're the one whose faith made virtue flow out of Jesus without him even planning it. You're not the tomb where Lazarus is buried. You're the voice that commands, "Come forth." Somewhere tonight, in the invisible realm, an angel is touching the paperwork you've been waiting on. Another one is standing next to the hospital bed, and the monitor is about to change. Another one is sitting in the boardroom, where your name is about to come up in a conversation you're not even present for. Somewhere tonight, a door you thought was welded shut is creaking open on hinges you didn't even know existed. And here's what I need you to understand. When heaven's stamps delivered on a miracle, no human hand, no devil, no delay, no doubt can return it to sender. It's already in motion. The question is, are you? This Saturday carries your name. If you believe that if something in your spirit is vibrating with recognition right now, I want you to say it out loud. I don't care if you're alone in your living room or surrounded by people who think you're crazy. Say it. It's mine. Say it again. This Saturday is mine. Because every time you declare it, you're signing for the package. You're activating the angelic dispatch. You're moving from waiting room to war room. Psalm 118:24 says, "This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it." Not tomorrow, not when things get better, not when you see the evidence. This day, this Saturday, and if God made it, He doesn't make junk. He doesn't make filler days. He doesn't make in-between seasons that don't matter. Every Saturday you've ever lived through, every silent, heavy, lonely in-between day was preparation for this one. The one that breaks the pattern, the one that ends the cycle, the one that moves you from victim to victor in a single divine moment. So I'm asking you one more time. Do you believe this Saturday carries your name? Because what I'm about to show you next will prove that your miracle isn't just coming, it's already here. And the only question left is, are you ready to step into it? Chosen one. It's midnight. Saturday has turned. Heaven has just crossed over into a threshold moment you've been waiting for your entire life. Can you feel it? Something in the atmosphere shifted while you were sitting here. The air got thicker. Your chest got tighter. That's not anxiety, that's recognition. Your spirit knows what your mind hasn't caught up to yet. The big Saturday isn't ending. It's transforming. See, most people think Saturday is just the day between tragedy and triumph. They think it's dead time, wasted hours, a cosmic holding pattern while God figures out his next move. But that's not what Saturday is at all. Saturday is when heaven does its most dangerous work in complete silence. It's when angels are dispatched, when chains are filed through in the dark, when the enemy thinks he's won, and God is 3 moves ahead, setting up the checkmate. And right now, right this second, you're standing in the exact center of that midnight hour. Matthew 25:6 says, "At midnight the cry rang out, 'Here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him.'" Midnight isn't the end. Midnight is the announcement. It's the moment when everything you thought was over suddenly explodes into the beginning you never saw coming. But here's what most people miss. Not everyone hears the midnight cry. Some are too busy sleeping. Some have given up waiting. Some have convinced themselves that the bridegroom forgot his promise, forgot his people, forgot them. And when the shout comes, they're not ready. Their lamps are empty. Their oil ran out years ago. Their hope dried up during the longest Friday of their lives. But you're still here, still watching, still believing that God hasn't forgotten your name. That makes you dangerous. Because the ones who stay awake through Saturday, the ones who refuse to let go, even when the silence feels unbearable, those are the ones who get front row seats to the resurrection. Let me ask you something, and I need you to be brutally honest with yourself. How many times have you almost given up? How many nights have you laid in bed and whispered, "God, if you're real, if you still see me, I need a sign, just one sign, anything." How many mornings have you woken up disappointed because heaven stayed silent and your circumstances stayed the same? I know, I've been there. We've all been there. But what if the silence wasn't rejection? What if the delay wasn't denial? What if God was doing in the dark what he's about to reveal in the light? Psalm 30:5 says, "Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning." But nobody talks about the space between the weeping and the rejoicing. Nobody preaches about the holy, agonizing, faith-stretching gap where you're holding on by a thread, wondering if morning will ever come. That gap, that's Saturday. And Saturday is where miracles are made. Right now, while you're sitting here, heaven is moving. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Angels are being released with assignments that have your name written on them. Doors that have been locked for years are being pried open from the other side. Enemies who thought they buried you are about to watch you rise. But here's the catch. This miracle isn't coming to a passive audience. It's coming to the ones who stayed ready. The ones who kept their oil lamps filled. The ones who heard the midnight cry and said, "Yes, Lord, I'm still here. I'm still believing. I'm still standing." If your spirit feels the temperature change right now, if your chest feels that strange pull, that unexplainable knowing, type 111 inches, the comments. Let heaven see your readiness. Let the angels know you're awake. Because what's about to happen next isn't for spectators, it's for participants. It's for the chosen ones who've been faithful in the dark, who've worshipped through the silence, who've declared God's goodness even when their circumstances screamed otherwise. The clock has struck 12. The shift has begun. And the question burning in the courts of heaven right now is this. When the miracle lands, when your Red Sea splits, when your Lazarus walks out of the tomb, when your impossible becomes inevitable, will you be awake to receive it? Or will you be another one who slept through their deliverance? You expected fireworks, didn't you? You prayed for thunder. You begged for signs. You needed God to show up loud, dramatic, undeniable, like he did for Moses at the burning bush, like he did for Elijah calling down fire from heaven. But instead, he gave you quiet, not punishment, anesthesia, because what God is about to do in your life requires you to be still, completely still. The kind of stillness that makes you uncomfortable, the kind that forces you to sit with yourself, with your doubt, with the questions you've been running from for years. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. Friday was pain, Sunday is promise, but Saturday is surgery. And right now, you are on the operating table. Heaven's lights are dim. The angels aren't celebrating, they're in position. They're not singing, they're working. They've become surgeons, and your soul lies open before them. Not for harm, for healing, not for destruction, for reconstruction. You see, there's a reason Jesus didn't rise on Friday night. There's a reason he waited through the entire span of Saturday, because resurrection doesn't happen in haste. Miracles don't microwave. God doesn't rush the process just because you're tired of waiting. In John 11, when Lazarus died, Mary and Martha sent word to Jesus immediately. "Lord, the one you love is sick." But Jesus stayed where he was 2 more days. 2 whole days while his friend rotted in a tomb. 2 days while the sisters wept and whispered, "If only he had been here." But Jesus wasn't late. He was precise. Because what they needed wasn't healing. They needed resurrection. And resurrection requires death. It requires waiting. It requires a Saturday. You've been living in your Saturday, haven't you? That job didn't just fall through, it collapsed. That relationship didn't just end, it was buried. That dream you carried for 20 years, you watched it flatline. And you stood there in the cemetery of your own hope, wondering if God was even paying attention. He was, he is. But here's what you didn't know. The quiet was never absence. The silence was never abandonment. It was construction. God was building a room inside you, a room big enough, strong enough, deep enough to hold the miracle he's about to release. Because the miracle you're asking for, it's bigger than you think, it's heavier than you're ready for. And if he gave it to you on Friday, in your broken state, in your shallow faith, you would have dropped it. You would have squandered it. You would have praised God for 3 days and then gone back to your old life. But this Saturday, this silent, agonizing, Holy Saturday, has been excavating you, hollowing you out, making space. Proverbs 25:4 says, "Remove the dross from the silver, and a silversmith can produce a vessel." That's what Saturday does. It removes, it refines. It burns away everything that isn't you, the false identities, the people-pleasing, the need for applause, the addiction to comfort. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels like abandonment. Yes, you've cried yourself to sleep more times than you can count, whispering, "God, where are you?" He's been right there, in the surgery room, gloves on, scalpel steady, removing the tumor of your past so the miracle of your future has room to breathe. You thought nothing was happening. But the ground beneath your stillness has been trembling with destiny. Right now, right this second, there are angels in motion. There are scrolls being unsealed. There are doors in the spirit realm that have been locked for decades, and heaven's locksmiths are turning the tumblers one by one. There are checks being written. There are phone calls being arranged. There are divine appointments being scheduled in calendars you can't even see yet. You think you're sitting still, but you're not. You're in the eye of a hurricane. And when this Saturday breaks into Sunday, when the stone rolls away and the miracle steps out, you will finally understand why the wait was so long, why the silence was so deep, why God made you endure the in-between. Because Saturday isn't the absence of a miracle. Saturday is the incubation of one. Jesus was in the tomb, but he wasn't dormant. Death was being defeated cell by cell, breath by breath. Hell was being harrowed, keys were being taken, and all of it happened in silence. All of it happened while the world thought it was over. But it wasn't over. It was just beginning. If you've been feeling that trembling, that silent unrest, that inexplicable sense that something is shifting, even though nothing has changed, type, "I'm ready for the reveal right now." Let heaven know you're awake. Let your faith speak even when your circumstances are still quiet. Because what's coming next isn't just a miracle, it's the miracle, the one that rewrites your story, the one that vindicates your waiting, the one that makes every tear you cried on Friday worth it. But first, you need to understand exactly what heaven has been doing behind the veil. You want to know why that miracle you've been praying for hasn't manifested yet? It's not because God didn't hear you, it's because you haven't passed the whisper test. And I need you to understand something right now, something the enemy doesn't want you to figure out. Heaven doesn't test you with earthquakes. Heaven doesn't measure your readiness with floods or fires or dramatic catastrophes that make the evening news. No. Heaven tests you with whispers, with irritations, with provocations, with delays so small you almost miss them. But your reaction reveals everything. That neighbor who always parks in your spot. That's not just bad manners. That's a tuning fork. That phone call that came at the worst possible time, the one that made your blood pressure spike, that wasn't random. That grocery store clerk who moved like molasses when you were already late. Chosen one, these aren't accidents, they're calibrations. God is adjusting your frequency. He's striking the tuning fork against your soul to see if you're vibrating at the frequency of peace or chaos. Because here's the truth nobody's telling you. You can't carry a Sunday miracle with a Friday frequency. You can't receive resurrection power while you're still operating in crucifixion anger. Listen to me carefully. The book of 1 Kings, Chapter 19. Elijah the prophet who called down fire from heaven, who confronted kings, who saw God split the sky, he's running for his life. He's exhausted, depressed, done. And God tells him, "Go stand on the mountain, for I am about to pass by." And then what happens? A great and powerful wind tears the mountains apart, but the Lord is not in the wind. An earthquake shakes the ground, but the Lord is not in the earthquake. A fire blazes, but the Lord is not in the fire. And after the fire, a gentle whisper. And that's where God was, in the whisper, not in the drama, not in the noise, in the still, small voice that most people miss because they're too busy shouting, reacting, defending, proving. David understood this. When he was hiding in that cave in 1 Samuel 24, King Saul, the man hunting him like an animal, walked right into that same cave to relieve himself. David's men whispered, "This is it. God delivered your enemy into your hands. Kill him now." But David didn't. He cut off a corner of Saul's robe, just a corner, and even that made his conscience burn. Because David passed the whisper test. He didn't react. He didn't take revenge. He waited for God's timing, not his own emotion. And what happened? David became king. Not because he was the strongest warrior, but because he had a heart tuned to heaven's frequency. Then there's Anna. Luke chapter 2. 84 years old, a widow. She never left the temple. Day and night, fasting and praying. The Bible says she worshipped night and day. For decades. No drama, no spotlight. Just faithful presence in the waiting room of miracles. And on the day Mary and Joseph brought baby Jesus to the temple, Anna was there. She didn't miss the Messiah because she never abandoned her post during the whisper years. So let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself right now. How did you respond the last time someone cut you off in traffic? How did you react when that text came through with an attitude? What did you do when your prayer wasn't answered on your timeline? Did you rage? Did you complain? Did you spiral into bitterness and declare that God forgot about you? Or did you breathe deep, choose peace, and say, "Not my will, but yours"? Because that response, that split-second decision, that's the whisper test. And here's what they're not telling you in those feel-good sermons. Every time you fail the whisper test, you delay your miracle. Every time you choose reaction over response, you reset the clock. God isn't punishing you, He's protecting you. Because if He released that blessing while you're still vibrating at the wrong frequency, it would destroy you. You'd misuse it, abuse it, lose it. But when you pass the whisper test, when you choose peace in traffic, grace in conflict, patience in delay, heaven unlocks the next level. Suddenly, doors you didn't even know existed swing wide open. People you never met start speaking your name in rooms you've never entered. Resources appear. Clarity comes. The fog lifts. Not because you prayed harder, but because you responded better. So I'm asking you right now, have you been tested this week by whispers, not storms? Has God been striking that tuning fork against your soul, waiting to see what frequency comes back? If you've felt it, if you recognize that every small irritation has been an invitation to rise higher, write in the comments right now, "I hear you, Lord." That confession breaks resistance. That agreement unlocks acceleration. Because the big Saturday isn't just about what God's going to do for you, it's about who you're becoming through the waiting. And what you're about to discover next will shake everything you thought you knew about how miracles actually arrive. Now listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you will change how you see the next 48 hours of your life. The miracle isn't coming the way you think it's coming. You've been watching the sky, waiting for thunder. You've been checking your phone for the big announcement. You've been listening for the boom, the earthquake, the dramatic moment when everything flips overnight. But that's not how Saturday miracles work. They don't announce themselves. They breathe first. Let me ask you something that might sting a little. How many times has God already moved in your life this week, and you didn't even notice because you were too busy looking for the wrong thing? How many divine appointments did you walk past because they looked too ordinary? How many heaven-sent messengers did you ignore because they didn't fit your picture of what rescue looks like? Here's the truth that most believers miss. Miracles don't start big, they start small. They start subtle. They start with a whisper so quiet that only the spiritually awake can hear it. Look at Genesis 1-2. The Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Hovering, not crashing, not exploding. Hovering. That's how creation began, with the gentle movement of God's breath over chaos. Your miracle is hovering right now. It's the unexpected peace that washes over you in the middle of a panic attack at 3 a.m., when you should be drowning in anxiety, but instead, something steadies your heart. You can't explain it. You didn't manufacture it. It just arrived. That's not coincidence. That's your miracle taking its first breath. It's the phone call that feels ordinary. A neighbor checking in. An old friend reaching out after years of silence. You almost let it go to voicemail because you're tired, you're drained, you don't have energy for small talk. But something makes you answer. And in that 5-minute conversation, a door cracks open that's been locked for a decade. That's not luck. That's heaven making its move. It's the sudden memory of a scripture you haven't thought about in 20 years, rising up in your mind while you're washing dishes or sitting in traffic. Psalm 30:5. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And something inside you breaks wide open because you realize you've been in the night shift for so long, you forgot morning was even possible. But now you feel it. The edge of dawn. Here's what I need you to understand. God is not dramatic for drama's sake. He's strategic. He moves in whispers first, because he's testing who's really paying attention. He's separating the desperate from the distracted. He's finding out who's spiritually alert enough to recognize his fingerprints on the ordinary. Jesus said it in John 10:27, "My sheep hear my voice, not my sheep hear my megaphone, not my sheep wait for the fireworks." They hear his voice, the still, small, almost missable frequency that cuts through the noise if you're tuned in. Right now, in your life, there are small shifts happening, tiny adjustments, little cracks in the walls that have held you hostage. It's small now, but it's moving. It's quiet now, but it's growing. It's delayed now, but it's accelerating. Think about it. A seed doesn't explode out of the ground. It pushes, slowly, invisibly, under the dirt where no one can see. For days, for weeks, nothing visible happens. But beneath the surface, roots are spreading, life is forming, power is building. And then, one Saturday morning, the soil breaks. And what was hidden becomes undeniable. That's where you are right now. Your miracle has been germinating in the dark. You thought nothing was happening because you couldn't see it. But God doesn't work on your timeline. He works in seed time and harvest. And chosen one, your harvest season just started. What you've been calling coincidence is actually the sound of your miracle breathing for the first time. That random encounter, miracle breathing. That sudden idea that won't leave you alone, miracle breathing. That door you thought was permanently shut, and now it's slightly ajar, miracle breathing. Stop dismissing it. Stop calling it just anything. When God moves, there is no just, there is no small. There is only divine strategy unfolding exactly as he designed it. So here's what I want you to do right now. If you sense something in your life shifting even slightly, even barely, type in the comments, "I feel it breathing." Say it out loud. Name the miracle. Because when you acknowledge what God is doing, you give it permission to grow faster. But here's the part that's going to blow your mind, and we need to talk about this right now, because the enemy doesn't want you to know what happens next. The miracle isn't just breathing, it's about to open its eyes. Let me tell you something that's going to shake the foundation of everything you thought you knew about waiting. While you've been sitting in this Saturday silence, wondering if God went on vacation, wondering if your prayers got lost in the cosmic mail system, wondering if maybe you did something so wrong that heaven just wrote you off. Listen to me closely. Something has been happening in the invisible realm that you couldn't see with your natural eyes. Heaven has been holding a record with your name etched in light. Not written in ink, not typed on some celestial computer. Etched, permanent, glowing. Your name has been burning on heaven's agenda since before you were born. And this Saturday, chosen one, this very Saturday, is the day of divine inspection. You hear that word, and your stomach might drop. Inspection sounds like judgment. Inspection sounds like you're about to fail. But let me flip your understanding right now. This isn't the inspection you think it is. This is the hour heaven reviews every unrecorded act of faith you never got credit for. Every time you kept praying when your knees were bleeding. Every morning you dragged yourself out of bed even though depression was whispering, "Stay down." Every moment you chose forgiveness when revenge would have felt so much sweeter. Every dollar you gave when your bank account was laughing at you. Every time you said, "God, I trust you," through clenched teeth and tears streaming down your face. Earth never gave you a trophy for that. Your family didn't throw you a parade. Social media didn't validate your silent sacrifice. But heaven has been recording every single second. Right now, in this moment, angels are unsealing scrolls with your name on them. Names are glowing across the throne room, and heaven is saying, they didn't quit. They held on when holding on made no logical sense. Elevate them. Do you understand what I'm telling you? You've been under audit not of your failure, but of your faith. God has been reviewing the deposits you made in the spirit when your flesh wanted to withdraw everything and run. He's been calculating compound interest on tears you cried in secret. He's been measuring the weight of glory that's about to be released because you refused to let go during your darkest Saturday. Psalm 56:8 says it plain. You keep track of all my sorrows. You have collected all my tears in your bottle. You have recorded each one in your book. Every tear, chosen one. Not some, not the pretty ones. Every single one has been reclassified from pain to payment. That breakdown you had at 3 a.m. last Tuesday. Payment. That anxiety attack that made you feel weak. Payment. That moment you almost gave up but didn't. Payment deposited directly into your miracle account, and the withdrawal is about to process this Saturday. But here's where it gets controversial, and I need you to stay with me. How many of you have been mad at God for making you wait so long? Be honest. How many of you looked at other people getting blessed while you were still stuck in your tomb, and you whispered, "What about me?" Did you forget? I'm going to tell you something that might sting before it heals. God wasn't making you wait. He was making you ready. There's a massive difference. The blessing has been ready. The miracle has been approved. But you weren't strong enough to carry it yet. Saturday wasn't punishment. Saturday was preparation. Think about this. If God had given you that breakthrough on Friday, you would have attributed it to your own strength. You would have taken credit. You would have built a monument to yourself instead of an altar to Him. But by making you lie in the tomb of Saturday, by making you wait in the silence, by stripping away every ounce of self-sufficiency, God positioned you to know beyond any shadow of doubt that when Sunday morning comes and that stone rolls away, it wasn't you, it was Him. All Him. And now, right now, heaven just stamped approved on what earth dismissed. That dream they said was too big? Approved. That calling they said you weren't qualified for? Approved. That healing the doctors said was impossible? Approved. That financial breakthrough that defied every natural law? Approved, approved, approved. The tribunal of heaven has reached its verdict, and it's in your favor. If you feel the weight of this word landing on your spirit like fire, if something inside you just stood at attention, I need you to do something right now. Comment, approved by heaven. Don't scroll past this. Don't think it's just words. This is alignment. This is you coming into agreement with what God already declared over your life before the foundation of the world. Type it, approved by heaven. Because what happens next isn't just information, it's activation. And you need to be in position to receive what Saturday is about to release. Now here's what most people miss about miracles. They think God drops one blessing into their lap and that's it. Transaction complete. Miracle delivered. Move on. But that's not how heaven operates. God doesn't release one miracle, He releases a ripple. Think about it. When you drop a stone into still water, does it create one splash and stop? No. It sends out rings, waves that travel farther than your eye can see, touching shores you didn't even know existed. That's what's happening right now in your life. The miracle landing on you this big Saturday isn't just for you. It's for your children, your grandchildren, Your bloodline, your community, people whose names you'll never know will eat fruit from the tree you're planting today with your tears, your faith, your refusal to give up. Let me take you to 2 Kings 4. There's a widow broken, desperate, drowning in debt. Her creditors are coming to take her sons as slaves. She's got nothing left but a jar of oil. Elisha tells her to gather empty vessels, as many as she can find. And then something impossible happens. That little jar of oil, it doesn't just fill one vessel. It fills them all. It keeps pouring. It multiplies. It overflows. But here's the kicker. The oil didn't stop until the vessels ran out. Do you hear what I'm saying? The miracle stopped, not because God ran out of supply, but because she ran out of capacity. How many empty vessels are you gathering right now? How much overflow are you positioned to receive? Or are you still thinking small, one jar, one answer, one breakthrough, when God is trying to flood your entire generation? Your grandmother prayed prayers you never heard. She wept tears into pillows you never saw. She sowed seeds in rocky soil during the Depression, during wars, during seasons when hope was rationed like bread. And now you're standing in the harvest she planted 70 years ago. But it doesn't stop with you. The anointing on your life right now, the favor, the breakthrough, the sudden open doors, it's not just touchdown, it's launchpad. Your grandkids will walk through doors you're unlocking tonight. They'll eat from tables you're setting with your obedience. They'll inherit spiritual wealth you're banking right now in the invisible realm. Deuteronomy 7-9 says God keeps covenant and mercy to 1,000 generations. Not 1, not 2, 1,000. Do you understand the mathematics of that? Your faithfulness tonight echoes 1,000 generations forward. Your worship in the wilderness, when nobody's watching, when you're exhausted, when you feel forgotten, it's coding the DNA of descendants you'll never meet. Let me paint you a picture. Somewhere in 2075, a great-great-grandchild of yours will be standing at a crossroads. They won't know your name. They won't remember your face. But they'll feel a pull, an unexplainable gravitational tug toward the right decision. A supernatural courage they can't explain. A door that swings open when logic says it should be locked. And that, beloved, will be your oil still pouring. That will be the residue of this big Saturday when you chose to believe, when you refused to quit, when you said yes to God in the dark. It spreads, like yeast through dough, like light through a dark room, like fire through dry wood. You think you're just getting a job? No, you're breaking generational poverty. You think you're just getting healed? No, you're shattering a bloodline curse of sickness. You think you're just getting clarity? No, you're establishing a legacy of wisdom that will guide your lineage for a century. Jesus said in John 12:24, "Unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it produces much grain." You've been that seed in the ground, buried, dark, forgotten. But this Saturday, you're breaking through the soil. And you're not coming up alone. You're bringing a harvest. What's touching you tonight will transform generations you'll never meet. The oil you're receiving right now won't run dry in your lifetime. It'll keep flowing long after your name is carved in stone. Because that's the economy of the kingdom. God doesn't do small. He doesn't do limited. He doesn't do just enough. He does overflow. He does abundance. He does press down, shaken together, running over. So I need you to do something right now. I need you to make a declaration. I need you to write these 3 words in the comments. Let it multiply. That's not just a phrase. That's your permission slip. That's you telling heaven, I'm not settling for one miracle. I'm positioning myself for generational overflow. Say it. Type it. Declare it. Let it multiply. Because this Saturday isn't just about survival. It's about legacy. It's about lineage. It's about making sure the next 1,000 generations eat from the tree you're planting right now with your faith. And something tells me you were born for exactly this moment. Now listen carefully. because what I'm about to tell you will shake the very foundation of how you've been seeing your life. You've been waiting for Sunday. You've been begging God for resurrection morning. You've been on your knees pleading for the stone to roll away, for the tomb to open, for death to lose its grip on your dreams, your health, your finances, your family. But here's what the enemy doesn't want you to know. Here's what hell has been trying to keep hidden from you since the moment you woke up this morning. Sunday is already breaking through Saturday's darkness. Right now, this very second, the sky itself feels pregnant with prophecy. Can you sense it? That weight in the atmosphere? That electricity in your spirit? That's not anxiety, chosen one. That's not fear. That's the presence of God, moving like dawn over the horizon of your impossible situation. Isaiah 60:1 says, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you finally get your act together. Now, the light is already here. And here's the mystery they don't preach about in Sunday school. This light doesn't come to blind you, it comes to clothe you. Think about that. When Jesus rose from the dead, the grave clothes fell off. The burial wrappings couldn't contain resurrection life. And right now, God is stripping off every label you've worn, every diagnosis, every bankruptcy, every betrayal, every too late, every not enough. And He's clothing you in glory that cannot be contained by Saturday's tomb. You want proof? You want evidence this isn't just spiritual talk. Watch what happens next in your life. You're going to walk into rooms and the atmosphere will shift. People who used to ignore you will suddenly ask, "What's different about you?" Opportunities that were dead and buried will resurrect themselves. Doors that were welded shut will swing open so fast it'll make your head spin. Why? Because Saturday is ending. And Sunday, your Sunday isn't waiting for permission anymore. John 11:43-44 tells us when Lazarus walked out of that tomb, still wrapped in burial clothes, Jesus said, "Take off the grave clothes and let him go." But here's what most people miss. Lazarus had to walk out first. He had to move while he was still bound. He had to trust resurrection life before he looked resurrected. That's where you are right now. You're standing at the mouth of your tomb, still feeling the weight of what tried to kill you, still wrapped in Saturday's silence, but chosen one. Can't you feel it? The breath of God is filling your lungs again. The stone is already moving. The light is already breaking through. This isn't Sunday coming tomorrow. This is Sunday arriving early for the faithful. And you're the faithful. You didn't quit. You didn't walk away. You stayed in the Saturday when everyone else went home. You kept believing when the tomb stayed sealed. You kept praying when heaven stayed silent. Acts 16:25 says Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns at midnight, the darkest hour, and suddenly there was an earthquake. The prison doors flew open. The chains fell off. Your midnight is ending. Your earthquake is starting. Can you feel the rumble? Here's your prophetic declaration, and I need you to say this out loud right now. Don't just think it. Speak it into the atmosphere. My dawn is here. Say it again. Louder. My dawn is here. You're not declaring what you hope might happen. You're declaring resurrection before sunrise. You're prophesying Sunday into Saturday. You're calling things that are not as though they already are, just like Romans 4:17 tells us Abraham did. The light won't blind you, beloved. It will transform you. And when that sun breaks over the horizon of your impossible situation, you'll finally understand what God meant when He said in Malachi 4:2, "But for you who revere my name, the Sun of Righteousness will rise with healing in its rays." Healing, restoration, vindication, breakthrough. All of it is wrapped up in this one Saturday to Sunday moment. So here's my question for you, and answer honestly, because your next season depends on it. Are you ready to stop living like it's still Saturday when Sunday is already breaking through? Now here's what they don't tell you in church. The moment you receive your miracle, the second heaven shifts the atmosphere around your life. That's when the real battle begins. Because the enemy doesn't care about your desperation. He's used to that. What terrifies him? Your peace, your newfound frequency, the fact that you're no longer begging, you're believing, you're no longer anxious, you're aligned. And he will do everything in his power to knock you off that frequency. Listen to me carefully, chosen one. The storms that broke you before, they're coming back. Not because God abandoned you, but because the enemy wants to test whether your transformation was real or just emotional hype that fades by Monday morning. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Your breakthrough came with a maintenance plan, and most people lose their miracle, not because God took it back, but because they stopped guarding the frequency that attracted it in the first place. Think of it this way. You've spent years broadcasting static doubt, fear, worry, complaints. Then God tuned you to a new station, a heaven frequency. Suddenly, you're receiving downloads you've never accessed before. Peace that doesn't make sense. Favor that defies logic. Doors opening that have no natural explanation. But here's the thing about frequencies. One wrong dial and you're back to static. One toxic conversation. One scroll through negativity. 1 hour drowning in the news. One phone call with that person who always pulls you back into old thinking. And suddenly, you can't hear heaven anymore. The signal's scrambled. The whisper's gone. So how do you guard it? Protect your mornings like they're sacred ground. Before you check your phone, before you dive into the chaos, before you let the world tell you who you are, remind yourself whose you are. 5 minutes of silence, 5 minutes of scripture, 5 minutes reminding your soul. I am a carrier of His presence. I am aligned with divine timing. I am tuned to the frequency of miracles. Limit your exposure to negativity. I'm not talking about ignoring reality. I'm talking about choosing your reality. You cannot binge bad news for 3 hours and expect to carry heaven's peace. You cannot absorb everyone else's chaos and wonder why your spirit feels heavy. Proverbs 4:23 says it plainly, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." Your heart is the antenna. If you let garbage in, you'll broadcast garbage out. Speak less, bless more. Stop explaining yourself to people who aren't assigned to understand you. Stop defending your calling to those who can't see past their own limitations. James 1:19 instructs, "Be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger." The more you talk, the more you leak. The more you argue, the more you descend. But when you bless, when you speak life even over those who cursed you, you stay elevated, you remain untouchable. And here's something critical. Remember the whisper test. It never stops, it just evolves. The enemy will disguise new tests as old temptations. He'll send familiar faces with new lies. He'll replay old wounds with sharper edges. And he'll whisper one question over and over. Did God really say? Sound familiar? That's the same line he used in the garden. Genesis 3:1. The first deception. The original frequency jammer. But you're wiser now. You've been through the Saturday silence. You know what resurrection feels like. And you refuse to go back. So let me give you the ultimate proof that your miracle is real. The proof of your miracle isn't what changes around you, it's what no longer changes you. When the chaos hits and your heart stays steady, that's proof. When the attack comes and you don't spiral, that's proof. When people try to pull you back and you stay planted, that's proof. You're not the same person who entered this Saturday. You've been recalibrated, rewired, reborn. Now, guard that frequency like your eternity depends on it, because it does. If you're committed, if you're ready to protect what heaven just gave you, type in the comments right now, "I'm keeping my frequency sacred." Let heaven see who's serious. Let the enemy know this one isn't turning back. Now, let me show you what happens when you stay aligned. So let me bring this home. You didn't stumble onto this message by accident. The Big Saturday isn't just a concept, it's your current reality. You've been living in the in-between, between the pain of what died and the promise of what's coming, between the crucifixion of your dreams and the resurrection of your destiny. And I need you to remember 3 things as you step away from this moment. First, Saturday. Silence is not heaven's rejection, it's heaven's preparation. When you can't hear God, He's working in dimensions you can't see. Trust the process even when you can't trace it. Second, your miracle isn't delayed, it's scheduled. Divine timing doesn't bow to your calendar, it operates on eternal precision. What feels like too late to you is right on time in the Father's plan. Third, guard your frequency like your life depends on it. Because the breakthrough you just received will be tested. The enemy will try to drag you back to old frequencies, but you've been recalibrated. Stay there. Protect your peace. Honor your transformation. And hear me on this, you are not alone. I know it feels that way sometimes. I know the silence can be deafening. I know you've cried prayers into the dark and wondered if anyone was listening. But God has never left you, not for 1 second, not for 1 breath. He's been in the Saturday with you, preparing Sunday's explosion. And beyond that, there's a community here. Thousands of chosen ones walking the same path, fighting the same battles, believing for the same breakthroughs. We're praying with you. We're standing with you. You are surrounded even when you feel isolated. So before you go, let me ask you something that might change everything. What if the miracle you've been begging God for has already been released, and the only thing left is for you to step into it? What if it's not about God doing more, but about you believing more? Think about that. Now, before we close, I want to pray over you. Not a quick prayer, not a religious formality, a real prayer. The kind that breaks chains, the kind that shifts atmospheres, the kind that reaches into the invisible realm and pulls heaven's promises into your reality. So wherever you are, whether you're alone in your living room, sitting in your car, lying in bed at 2 a.m. because sleep won't come, I want you to receive this. Close your eyes if you can, open your hands, and let this prayer cover you like a blanket. Father God, in the name of Jesus, I stand in the gap for every chosen one hearing these words right now. I speak over the weary, the ones who are tired of fighting, tired of waiting, tired of believing. Lord, breathe fresh strength into their bones, renew their hope, restore their faith. Remind them that you are not finished with their story. I speak over the broken-hearted, those whose dreams died, whose relationships shattered, whose health failed. God, you are the healer of broken things. You specialize in resurrection. What the enemy meant for destruction, you are turning into a testimony. What looked like an ending is actually a setup for a comeback. I speak over the silent sufferers, the ones nobody sees, the ones who smile in public but weep in private. Father, you see them. You know their names. You've counted their tears. And you're about to turn their mourning into dancing, their ashes into beauty, their Saturday into Sunday. Right now, I break every chain of fear, doubt, and unbelief. I cancel every assignment of the enemy against their destiny. I declare that doors are opening, miracles are manifesting, and divine favor is flooding their lives starting today. Let them feel your presence right now, not as a distant God, but as a Father who's been walking with them through every dark valley, every silent Saturday, every moment they thought they were alone. We receive the miracle, we claim the breakthrough, we step into the new frequency, and we refuse to go back. In Jesus' mighty name, amen. Now, listen, if this message hit you in your spirit, if something inside you shifted, I need you to do something. First, drop a comment below. Tell me what God spoke to you. Share your testimony. Let this community know you're here and you're believing, because when we declare it publicly, we seal it spiritually. Second, share this video. Not for me, for that person on your timeline who's barely holding on. For your friend who's been living in their own Saturday, wondering if Sunday will ever come. Be the vessel that carries hope to someone who desperately needs it. You might be the only Jesus they encounter today. Third, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification bell, because there's more coming. more revelation, more breakthrough, more truth that the enemy doesn't want you to hear. Don't miss what's next. And let me just say thank you. Thank you for watching until the very end. Thank you for opening your heart. Thank you for trusting me with your time, your attention, your sacred Saturday. You are seen, you are loved, you are chosen, and your Sunday is coming. Stay tuned to Heaven's frequency. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.